Hello friends, today our topic is Indian Constitution as well as silent features at the same time Indian polity system and government. So before talking about this topic, basically we need to know that the history background of the Constitution. So the topic is becomes as the constitutional history. So let us start this topic. Right, constitutional history. Constitution is a set of principles by which a state is governed. The constitution of a country is always built on its foundations of its past. To understand any constitution, it is essentially to know its background history. A brief review of the various acts is given here from the point of view of Indian constitutional history. So, when the British people have ruled our country, these people have made some company rules. The topic is here the company rules of 1773 to 1858. So these people have regulated, the British people have regulated some acts like 1773, Regulating Act of 1773. This 1773 Act is particularly important in Indian constitutional history because it was the beginning of the efforts by the British parliamentary control over the company administration in India. It denotes the Governor General of Bengal as a governor. The second one is the General of British Territories of India, who have the authority over the presidencies of Madras, Bombay, and Kolkata. The first such Governor General was Lord Warren Hastings. And third one is the point is basically a Supreme Court was formed in Kolkata in 1774. It's prohibited the servants of company to emerge in any private trade or accepting trade. So this is what the people have done to regulate Act of 1773. The next thing is this Pitt's Indian Act of 1784. Under this act, the East Indian Company Court of Directorate was left with responsibilities in the matters of trade and commerce only while for other political matters. The British government appointed a board of control consisting of 6 members. This board was empowered to superintend, direct, and control all the operations of the civil, military, and the government of British possessions in India. And the next one act was made in Charter Act of 1793 to 1813. The Charter Act of 1793 and 1813 renewed the company chartered each time for the further period of 20 years. The 1813 Act, however, despite the company of the monopoly of trade in India, while the company of 3 council of Madras, Bombay, Kolkata were enlarged, they were also subject to great control of the British Parliament. All the regulations made by the 3 councils were thereafter required to lead before the Parliament. Then one more the charter which was made in 1833, the Charter Act 1833. It made the Governor General of Bengal as the Governor General of India. The first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. It introduced a system of open competition as the basis for the recruitment of civil servants of the company. The Governor General in the Council was now vested the subject to sustain the restrictions with the exclusive power of the legislature for the whole of the British territories in India. After 1833 Chartered Act, the one more act was made in 1853, the Chartered Act of 1853. The last of the Charter Act 1853 made the important changes in the missionary for the India legislation. To the Governor General Council was continued as one legislature authority competent to enact the laws for the whole of the British India. So many alterations were made in its charters and composed the system was entirely changed. And majorly in Chartered Act of 1853 was the 2 major points are there basically. was made the act only for the cause of recruitment to the civil service was based on the open annual competition exams. And the second one is the number of members of the court of directorates were reduced from 24 to 18, of which 6 were to be nominated by the crown. Then after these charters, then the crown law was came in existed in 1858 to 1918. After that, the company was made these crown rules. The later that, then the Government of Indian Act 1858, one more act was came and existed in the year of 1858. So this is because of what? After the revolt of the Great Revolt of 1857, which was made later, after that only the Government of Act of 1858 was came down. The same time about this act is basically is the revolt of 1857 is described as the Indian Mutiny by the British historians as the first war of independence by the Indians, was the first organized attempt to overthrow the British rule in India after it was firmly established. The power was transferred from the company to British crown. The court of directors and the board of control was abolished. The post of secretary of the state was established. A 15 members council was established to assist him. The Governor General was made the Viceroy of India. Ended dual system of government. Lord Kennan was the first Viceroy of India. After this, the Indian Council Act of 1861 was made. This act especially was bound to the three major points. The act extended of the power of Viceroy and the governors of province. The Governor General was empowered to seeking the cooperation of Indians while performing the legislature functions. The Council of Governor Generals of India performed the dual functions of executive and legislature. And the third point is basically the portfolio system was started, that is, each member at the Council of the Governor General was allocated portfolio of a particular department. The Viceroy of India was empowered to issue ordinance in emergency. This is what the people have done one after other. It means the acts which was basically made to be a historical fact which can be understood very briefly, so that the people of the past as very great efforts they have made. So what the constitution is about, how the people of British rule our country, going on the part of it, and the people have basically have made some historical parts as a step forward to create a flexible constitution for the India. So in this the